gates. He turned towards the lights and hum of the town. Chapter 1. The Summons. 20 years later. Another cemetery. Mrs. Georgina Hamilton, pillar of St. Mary's Cathedral, eased herself stiffly upright to contemplate the fruits of her labours. Much better. No more straggly weeds, and the tasteful cellophaned bouquet struck just the right note. Nobody would be able to accuse Geoffrey Hamilton's widow of failing to show appropriate respect. She ran a critical eye along the line of graves in the southeastern corner of the cathedral graveyard. Yes, it was far and away the best-tended plot, she reflected smugly, slipping the miniature trowel into her coat pocket. Complacently, she cast a proprietorial eye around her. To her left, dominating the graveyard, rose the great cathedral. Just beyond that, on the other side of a low wall, was St. Mary's Choir School, its outlines dimly visible through the gathering twilight. The proximity of the celebrated St. Mary's grottos, that ancient religious shrine which lay behind the school, made these precincts doubly blessed. Somehow she had lost track of time, and it was nearly dark. Shivering in the December twilight, she was uncomfortably conscious of the silence which lapped the precincts of the cathedral. Mist was coming down, wreathing the ancient memorials in clammy vapours. She peered apprehensively through the gloom. For all her sturdy unimaginativeness, she had an uneasy sense that the memento mori and gargoyles were leering at her in the knowledge of some private joke. With a shake of her head, as though to dispel the fog from her mind, Georgina squared her shoulders and, clutching her capacious handbag like a shield, picked her way along the muddy gravel path between the rows of graves, resolutely ignoring the pale obelisks which beckoned with spectral fingers and the ranks of crooked headstones coated in slippery moss. There was no avoiding the squat, lichen-stained mausoleum which brooded at the side of the path, affording the nearest exit from the graveyard. In normal circumstances, Georgina felt an almost proprietorial pride in the proximity of the Soames vault, as though the mouldering relics of Bromgrove's first family shed a ghostly lustre on those who slept near them. On this occasion, however, as she looked up at the tomb's rusting iron railings guarded by two angels, curved wings swooping high above their disdainful marble heads, she felt an urge to run. Don't be ridiculous, she told herself. Long-forgotten lines from some school play came unbidden to her mind. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. It is the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. Quite right, too. At that moment she heard a harsh scraping noise coming from the rear of the mausoleum. Scarcely daring to breathe and somewhat amazed at her own daring, she tiptoed round the side of the monument to ascertain the source of the disturbance. Blinking myopically through the murk, a strange sight met her eyes. An odd time to be digging graves was her first thought. Two men, their backs to her, were standing in a trench, shovelling vigorously by the light of a heavy-duty lantern. Grunting and panting from their exertions, they were oblivious to everything but the task at hand. A couple of mud-stained headstones and some cracked granite plaques leaned drunkenly against a wheelbarrow piled high with earth. She vaguely recalled Geoffrey saying something about sensitive operations occasionally needing to be carried out at night time. As verger and local councillor, he was in a position to know. It had been tacitly understood, however, that subjects such as burial law and policy were not suitable to be aired around the tea-table. With the cathedral graves being Church of England property, Geoffrey would no doubt have liaised with the Archdeacon in the event of any irregular activity in the cathedral environs. With a sharp pang, Georgina wished she had taken more of an interest in her husband's municipal responsibilities. Perhaps he would have liked it. Perhaps it was only her own hidebound obsession with gentility that had kept her from being a true helpmeet. And now it was too late. She was jerked back to the present by a low growl. The taller man was berating his fellow labourer. "Get a move on, won't you? What's the matter? They can't hurt you. They can't hurt anyone." The other merely spat on the ground and bent to his work.